disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partners, Joe Hartley and Angel Diaz. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
What's up, man?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network. On Tuesdays, you got CTE with Chris Lopes and Travis. Wednesdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Joe, and Angel. And on Thursdays, you can get the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, you can check us out on social media. Just look for the Martial Arts Center Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and now Patreon. Fellas, it's showtime. What's going on?
Just a pretty regular week. Doing the family thing, doing the work. And I wake up today, May 2nd, snow outside. I'm so done with this.
Yo, let me tell you, I saw someone post. It wasn't even you guys. Someone post. Maybe it was like Chris Gorham or somebody posted like Detroit in May right now. And it wasn't even like the mowing the lawn one. It was them just showed a picture of the outside. I saw snow on trees. I was like, oh no, y'all gotta stop, man. Y'all gotta stop that. Y'all gotta stop.
The crazy thing is, okay, we have seen every kind of weather in like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we have.
It was 70, almost 80 one day, and then it's snowing the next day, and then it's windy. I mean, make up your mind, Mother Nature. Come on, man. Just give me some consistent weather. That's all I'm asking for. I don't need good weather. Just give me something consistent. So I know when I wake up, I know what I can do, what's going on. That's all I'm asking. But you know what? It's Michigan. It is what it is. We're not, we're used to it.
Right. You know what? There was somebody had posted something not long ago on Facebook, and I saw it, and it was someone saying, give me some good reasons why I should live in Michigan. Right. And it was people like pretty much dissing Michigan. I'm like, listen, we don't have to worry about hurricanes. We don't got to worry about earthquakes. We ain't got to worry about forest fires. We barely got to worry about tornadoes. We get some snow, 3 months out of the year, and then we get some other, some BS weather. But other than that, man, like those natural disasters, I'm not worried. I told my cousin before, like, I'm not worried about snow bringing down my house. I don't have those fears. He's down in Florida. He has to worry about the hurricane, taking his house and sending it out to the ocean. I don't have to worry about my house getting burnt up in a forest fire, or an earthquake, So yeah, I'm not gonna complain too much. Now, if I see snow in June, then I might have an issue. I might have a problem, Joe.
No, I'm right there with you, man, for sure.
Looks like Angel just dropped off a little bit, but I'll bring him back on when he comes back.
He said he was having some internet problems.
Yeah, he did. So he did. He gave us a head up. Yeah, he did give us a heads up, which is all good. I mean, at least it's not me. That's why I did a little. I had enough months of having internet problems, So at least it ain't me now. Go ahead, Angel. What's going on, bro?
No, my week has been going good until now. My internet is actually terrible. So my week's been good. Just chill. Ain't really did much. It rained over here over the weekend, so I just actually had to be in the house and relax. And just so far the week has been going good. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's May. I just want to be done with work already. It's time to be out. Let's just be done with this.
You sound like the students, man.
It's so funny because I was just gonna say the students want to be done. The teachers want to be done. I mean, the finish line's right there.
Yeah, for real though. But everything all good. How about you, Gene?
Yeah, everything is good, man. I had a pretty chill weekend. Also, nothing really happened. I just spent time at home. Cleaning up, straightening up the house. I'm going to hopefully the long guy get him out here to do a spring cleanup outside. He was supposed to come last week, and I had to reschedule him because of the weather. It was raining. I told him, listen, see if he can come back yesterday. He was supposed to come yesterday. He ain't hear from him. I don't know what's up with these lawn people. I mean, it's hard finding somebody that's going to be consistently coming and taking care of your stuff.
Well, you gotta be. Well, technically, they don't know what kind of weather they even getting into. So for them.
Well, I'm gonna tell
they
you,
don't
man.
know
Like,
they gotta get the plow or
They'll
not.
still show up for some. Like I had a lawn guy back in my old house, but it was the guy who was doing when the place my wife was working at, so he gave us a deal.
Mhm.
But they show up in the rain, not the snow. I don't think about the snow, but they show up in the rain.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes like it's just hard to get some of these guys to be consistent, you know. And having I shouldn't have to if you know if you're supposed to come every other week, like I should have to text you, say, hey, you come in this week, and now it's Friday. You know, you're scheduled for Monday or Tuesday. You know,
Yeah,
that type of stuff. You know, but like that, man, we just chilled, man. Me and Melissa, we had our date night again on Saturday, and that was pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. It's been chilling over here, man. School is going good. I had some new students start on Friday. Had 5.
I remember you telling me.
I had 5. I had 5. I was supposed to have 10. Some people have some issues. So I guess I got another 5 coming this week. And I'm steadily getting some forms filled out because I have them. We just have to schedule them to come in. And I've been talking to the Red Belts, man, and also Crystal. I've been talking to her also. I'm probably going to have a second white belt class and a second gold belt class because pretty soon I'm going to get to the point where I have too many white belts and too many gold belts. And, and most of the time, white belts and gold belts, people pretty much, if they're not going to stick around, they'll drop off around that time. If a kid makes it to purple belt, they might be around for a little while. So I'm really not worried about the purple belt classes, purple and green belt classes being too big. And plus, I mean, it's not as hard teaching purple belts and green belts because they've been with you for about a year and a half. They know the routine. They know, their 1-steps and forms and things like that. And you're not having to spend time teaching, a front stance or, how to do a side kick properly. It's just more stuff that you can do. And you don't have to be as hands-on when you're teaching purple and green belts. But those little white belts and those gold belts, man. But I got so many of them coming in, so I really can't complain. Normally summer is normally so slow for most schools, but I normally get a rush of kids throughout the summer. I normally get about anywhere from 15 to 25 kids in the summertime. Yeah. Well, that's because, James, the reason why is because of the Groupon special that I run. I run it year round. So at the end of the year, parents are always looking for some activity for their kid. So they always see my Groupon and then they'll jump on the Groupon. And most of the time, most of the people, if I get about 10 people to come in on the Groupon, 7 of them will stay.
Oh, that's great. Oh, those are great numbers.
Yeah,
great numbers.
That's great. That's real good.
Yeah, so it's between September and December is the slow time for me. It used to be back in the day, man. September used to be, pick up for back to school and all that stuff. But for me in my area, it starts to slow down at that point in time. A lot of that time, I'm signing up the kids who came in whose Groupon ended in August or September. I'm signing those kids up, but I typically don't get too many registration forms coming in September or October. So, All right, Joe. Are you ready to talk about this movie, The Matrix Reloaded?
Yeah, I was going through, and I've always said the first one was my favorite, but then you guys kind of pointing out that they had some really good fight scenes in this, and I must have just kind of forgot about them because there is a lot of good fighting in this, more so than the first one. And
it's a lot more.
And I've seen this movie a bunch, and I guess I don't remember some really good fight scenes that we'll get into. But for the most part, the idea of this movie, we get introduced to more of the Matrix and people being pulled outside the Matrix.
Oh, hold on, Joe. Before you continue,
yeah.
When I saw this part, I don't know about you guys, but I started to feel like Cypher. I thought, put my ass back in the Matrix. Like the real world does not seem like a place I really want to be. That shit looked depressing. It looked horrible, man. Machines everywhere. It's dark. It's gray. You got holes all through your body, and it doesn't look like people were enjoying themselves.
And it's war, and war is hell. So I mean, that's something to think about once you get out.
That's right. Put me back to sleep and let y'all fight the war, and if y'all win, wake me up then.
Crazy. It's, I mean, basically being pulled out of the Matrix, like joining the army, more or less. I mean, or being drafted.
Right.
So the movie basically starts out kind of like the other one, Trinity kicking ass on her own, but we find out it's a dream. Neo's having a dream of Trinity doing stuff, and it looks like she dies, but he never really sees the end of the dream. And so we find out, that they're together, they're on the Nebuchadnezzar, and we see like a meeting between other ship leaders, other captains of ships. So we meet some new people. Naomi is a former lover of Morpheus, and she's a captain of a ship. And they're all talking about they got orders to go back to their home base, which is called Zion. And the problem is that not everyone believes like Morpheus of this prophecy of the one being the savior, aka Neo. So, and the one in charge of their defenses is one of those people. So they're basically saying, well, I want someone to stay back because they got to talk to the Oracle again, but the Oracle hasn't reached out, and everybody else has to go back. And the reason the Nebuchadnezzar, Morpheus's ship, can't stay is because they got to recharge back at home base. So now he's going home expecting to get in trouble, basically locked up because he's basically not following full orders. So they end up going back, and comes to find out the main person in charge, like the president, I guess, or the mayor, whatever you want to call them, they don't really, they don't have so many titles, but they do have like a council of people that are in charge, and there's, a hierarchy to each one. So anyhow, he's in favor of Morpheus. So, he lets Morpheus talk, and Morpheus is a huge, like, he's a big part of this war. Like I said, even the people that don't necessarily believe his ideals still believe in him. So,
we also get introduced to a new member of Morpheus's team.
Yeah,
Link.
it's and Link is the brother-in-law of Dozer and Tank.
Now, Tank was alive at the end, right, of the first Matrix. Wasn't he alive?
No, they were both killed.
I don't remember that. I remember Tank waking up and he had a gun, and didn't he save?
Yeah, he used his last breath to save everybody, but he died. He was stabbed.
Okay, man, I don't know how I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, he used his last breath, basically. Like, they thought he was dead, and then all of a sudden he had that blaster, and he blasted,
Right.
Was it Cypher or whatever?
I think so, yeah.
So,
and I thought he did something else after that. Okay.
No, he died. That's, and Link took over as like he runs the whole computer, and he puts people in and out of the Matrix and runs hacks and all that stuff. Operator, I think they call him.
Yeah.
So that's what his part on the ship, and his wife is not happy about it because basically the Nebuchadnezzar barely ever comes back, where all the other ships come back home, and they're always out. But Morpheus, like I said, some people, they think Morpheus is crazy and his ideals are nuts. So they're not. The other two things that to basically kind of summarize this whole movie, other than the fight scenes, so Neo can fly. He can take on a bunch of people at once. Agent Smith, the original Agent Smith, has been broken free from the Matrix, so he's not plugged in anymore, and he doesn't follow the same rules. And he can create more Agent Smiths out of other people and other robots or programs. And then we also meet the architect. And that whole thing, the first few times I've watched this movie, was kind of confusing to me.
Well, yeah, that's exactly where I'm sitting at it.
Okay, I'm going to give
I'm really confused by this movie.
I can really get into this, but I'm going to give you the short version of my understanding of the architect. So the architect is the one who kind of builds this whole thing. He builds everything from the structure, from the ideas, and he works for the robots. He also has built the idea of how things happen. So Neo is the one. He's like the savior, Jesus, whatever you want to call him. In this one, they call him the one.
That's what it
There's
is.
been, yeah, they've been 5. The architect refers to his predecessors, the other 5 who have done this before. Now, the architect has always failed with the first 5, and he considers this 6th version of his design with the robots to be the most perfect one because he's learned from his mistakes more or less. And he said before the problem was underestimating the people, figuring out what was going on, how to rise above it, and to get the people to believe in the one. That's where he's always gone wrong because now that they've never really believed in this one person. And more they're starting to believe, and it gives the power to that person to basically help save the Matrix or save the people from the Matrix. That's my understanding. He's basically telling Neo that we've done this before. We've found Zion, and we've destroyed it 5 other times, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then on top of that, this is what he does to ensure that everything goes his way. He says, you have a choice now that I'm giving you. You can save Trinity from dying, or you can save Zion. Either way, both are going to die, but whatever choice you make, someone's going to, So, of course, Neo takes this as a challenge and saves both.
The way they were talking, the dialogue was confusing me also because they were talking like, how do I explain it? It was so
There's
confusing.
a lot of third person talking, a lot of explaining on top of explanation on top of explanation.
Yeah, like you know what I have to do. Yes, you knew, but are you going to do it? Yeah, I think I'm going to do it, but will you stop me? You know I will stop. It's like what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Just say it. Just say it.
It was a concept they were trying to drive home, but they compounded it with more and more stuff that was a little unnecessary, probably to try and confuse us. But in the end, like, we need to understand this to keep going through the movie.
Right. What were you gonna say, Angel?
I was just gonna say, like, when I was watching this, I kept saying to myself, like, what does this remind me of? Like, it reminds me of something that either like I've read, I've watched, like I was thinking, like, at first I was thinking like World Wars, like World War II, like it gives that kind of feel to it. Or now it's like Terminator, but it was it's kind of like it's biblical in a way. That's what it was. Like when Joe said it, it like clicked. I was like, that's what I saw Neo as. I was like, what is so special about him? And that's what I
Now,
saw.
listen, my wife and I are the ones that kind of talked about that before, but then I've had discussions with other people about that. Some religious, some not. If you talk to any like real religious people, like, and try to compare this to that, they will get mad at you.
Obviously, yeah.
At least the ones that I've kind of talked to. But
Listen, people in the comments, we ain't saying that Neo is Jesus. We ain't saying that.
I say I was putting it as like a similar figure.
Yeah.
A similar for Utah Joe. I don't care, man. Come and get me. I believe in God and Jesus. I'm not saying Neo's Jesus. I'm just saying there's a similarity there. That's all. In my opinion.
It's the way they it's the way they portrayed it. It's the way the language was. So you're saying how it was explanations on top of explanations. That's better than what I thought. I was over here thinking it's kind of like that Shakespearean language, like that Macbeth type Romeo and Juliet, like. But what you said, it's like they were just talking. It's like they talk around the issue, but never say what the issue is.
The other 2 characters we're introduced to a key maker, and he makes just millions of keys. He's got them on him for all these different doors and areas. That's how he led Neo to the architect. And the Oracle told Neo that he had to talk to the architect. That was like his next part to fulfill the prophecy.
So what is this guy? Let's talk about the keymaker. What is this guy's issue? Like what? Like
one door? Huh? I'm thinking, and I'm just like, how do you go through one door and come back out the same door, and you're in a different fucking world? Like this doesn't even make sense.
Because that's the Matrix.
I know, but it gets annoying. Like, it's a program. It gets annoying because then it's like. It just makes me say, like, what happens? Like, what are the other 20 keys for? Like, where else can you go?
But that's
Yeah.
why you have the key maker, because he's the one that's in charge of all that.
This guy is just sitting in a room, just making keys. That's it. Like, did he just say, "Well, let me just make a key to a kitchen door,"
Yeah.
just for the hell of it? Or are these
You know,
keys being made for a reason? Like he had, if you looked at the walls in his room, there were all these keys all over the place. And I
And
saw one. I
inside of
was
his
like, what?
jacket. Inside
Like,
of his jacket, he had
yeah,
all
it's
kinds
like,
of
what is that key for? That's against the wall. Like, why did you make that? You know you're gonna die. Like you're never gonna use it. Nobody's ever gonna use the key. He knew because when Neo came in to talk to him, he was expecting Neo. So like I was thinking, like, why is he just sitting in here making all of these keys? What is this for? If they're for nothing, then that's ridiculous.
Wait. The reason he was making those keys in that room was because he was captive. He was being held captive by this Merovingian guy.
And his ass couldn't figure out a way to make a key for himself to get the fuck out of there.
You're not wrong. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same thing. Like, for real, you're not wrong. That you just poked a big hole in the whole storyline.
You are the key maker. Come on, guy.
A lot of this movie is based on faith. So, like Morpheus, I hate the way Morpheus talks in this movie. By the way,
it's real similar to how he talks in the John Wick movies.
He's a little more lively in the John Wick movies, but he almost talks like he's like philosophizing Morgan Freeman or something. Like, I don't know, but it's so like he pauses between every freaking word, and then he tries to like everything that comes out of his mouth is almost like a riddle.
This whole movie is a riddle to me.
I know. I like his character and I like the actor, but when he's talking like and explaining everything, he's like the who, the what, the where, the when, and the cat in the hat, and I'm like, come on, man! Like, what is happening right now? It really drives me nuts. But it doesn't. To me, I still enjoy the movie, but that part, like, and then some people are hanging on his every word, and then some people are just like, no, you're crazy, like, get out of here. But then the ones who believe him see Neo at work, and then they're like, uh-oh, there has to be something here. I mean, listen to Neo. Neo has defeated the unbeatable Agent Smith. He died and came back to life to do that. Now he can fly. And then at the end of the movie, towards the end of the movie, he takes a bullet out of his girlfriend and resuscitates her heart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are miracles just in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's got to be something to this dude. Who knows what it is? I remember the first time I watched this, I thought he was a computer program.
Who, Morpheus or?
No, Neo.
Yeah. Well, isn't he? Wasn't he created for this? I mean, I don't know, man. Everything is so confusing.
I think that's
exactly why I could not have my nightly medicine. I purposely did not have. I can't have any medicine when I'm watching these movies because I'm already gonna be more lost than I'm already am when I'm sober. So I can't do it.
So when they show up, so the Oracle's advice is to go talk to this Miro guy. He has the keymaker, and she doesn't say this is where you'll acquire the keymaker. She says you'll have an opportunity. Because they talk to this guy. He's an arrogant ass. Mm-hmm. He's got a wife that despises him. And he's just he talks just like Morpheus, only with
he does.
He just kind of talks in circles about causality, cause and effect, and he's obsessed with the French language and food and wine and all this other stuff. But they walk away from him with nothing. But they get in the elevator and the wife meets them, and basically she's like, he used to be a loving husband, now he's a piece of crap, and all she wants to help them out is for Neo to give her a kiss like he would kiss Trinity. And my favorite thing is Trinity's like, excuse me, and puts a gun to her head like, how about you eat this bullet instead of my boyfriend?
Yeah, that was something else. Like I thought that was going to have some type of meaning later. Like maybe she's slipping him something. under his tongue or something? Like, what was the purpose of her wanting
No,
that?
she said she wanted to feel the way she felt at the beginning of her relationship with her husband. Neo, and
Oh,
this was a brand new love that was budding, and she used to have that with her husband, she said, and so she wanted to feel that again before. She sounded like she was talking like she was going to die after this, which maybe she did. They didn't really go back to that, but so basically,
now hold
after
on.
she gives them
Hold,
the keymaker, and then it breaks into a fight.
now, Joe, these two characters are not really real anyway, are they? I mean, they're just programmed into the matrix. They're like, they're computer generated, right? They're not real people.
They're people.
They are.
So far, the only programs that they talk about and we know about are the agents, the Oracle, and the Oracle's protector, and the architect are all programs.
Okay, so these people, so are they out of the matrix? Like, can they unplug themselves from the matrix?
I think as a program, you're programmed into the matrix. You're not plugged in or plugged out.
Right. So that's what I want.
Oh, you're talking about the husband and wife? No,
yeah,
they can plug in and plug out. As far as I know, they can. Because he said when we first showed up here.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I'm just.
They play a lot of games, and he's got two more new characters, two bodyguards. They're twins. They're like dressed in all white. They got white hair and like sunglasses, and they can like phase in and out. So like if you shoot at them, they'll phase out, and then they'll come at you. They can walk through cars. When they do phase, if they're injured, they heal themselves. So I'm assuming there's some kind of program like the agents as well. But
yeah, that's what I was going to ask you if they ever explained. They never explained that, did they?
No, they never did. But I know that was his security.
Mm-hmm.
And they did seem to die at one point, but they were chasing them down in the car and all that stuff.
Did you like that? Did you like that fight scene?
I love the fight scene
when they were in the car.
Reasons. Yeah, that. But I like the fight scene at the mansion when Neo stayed behind and they were pulling all the weapons off. Because one thing you don't see in too many movies is anybody fighting with size.
No, you don't.
And he did some pretty good, some fun stuff with those. So
Raphael didn't even fight with his size, did he?
None of the Ninja Turtles really fought with their size because I mean, if you think about it, Leonardo would have to cut people up,
kill someone.
Raphael would have to stab people. So I mean, the other two, you can knock some people out with some nunchucks and a bow, but other than that, like you're pretty much killing people. And
I just see you just stopped yourself from saying bow staff, and I know they talked about that. I know they talked about that on CT.
You saw that, right?
You saw him do that. But I agree with saying bow staff, and I'm gonna say why. Because when I say bow, people actually think I'm talking about bow and arrow. non-martial artists. So I say bow staff when I'm talking to those people. Like if we're doing karate, then I'll just say bow. But when I tell people like, yeah, we got a bow class and other people are actually thinking about the bow and arrow, and I'd say no, I'm talking about a big stick, the one that the stick that Donatello used, the turtle. That's a bow staff. Okay, so yeah. All right, go ahead. Oh, one more thing, guys. Do you guys know what is the significance of wearing these sunglasses? Because neither movie have they said anything. In this movie, just about everybody has sunglasses on, especially that scene that you're talking about right now. In the was it a hotel or something, Joe?
Yeah,
where Neo was. Everybody had on sunglasses. It seemed like
it must have something to do with the Matrix code or something. I'm not sure. I don't think it's ever explained. I mean, I could Google it, but I don't. It's never been to me. Can't remember it ever being explained in all four movies.
Okay.
Sunglasses and trench coats or like tight pleather.
I ain't trying to fight no hot ass trench coat.
Right.
I sweat enough in my gi fighting. Let alone got some leather on. What's going on?
But yeah, so I mean that's the basic summary of the movie. The other big problem is they are bringing everyone back to Zion. They have a big party after a big announcement. And
you mean a big orgy? That was an orgy. That's what I was thinking. They are getting busy.
No, there's all kinds of memes and stuff that have gone out about that being
I,
like.
I had to look see that looked like a rave from back in the day. I was like, did they just pop some acid and just start being carefree?
More or less. Hey man, I mean, if you think that there's a possibility
Adrian doesn't know what to say.
you're gonna die soon, because he's worried about his family. he's gonna have to go to church and do some penance.
Angel gets in the corner, 20 Hail Marys. Is that what's gonna happen?
I'm not even. I'm not even touching that one, bro. I'm not even touching that one. Like, I'm gonna let you rock with that. I'm not even touching that one. It's like we've had us talking about someone being Jesus, and then we had now a big ass orgy where people were taking acid and just being carefree. I'm not even touching that, man. I'm not even touching that. Imagine what our Instagram followers would say. Oh, we get tore up, bro. We get tore up. And let us put some type of. All we have to do is put some type of effect with it. It'll be done.
It's perfect.
Oh man.
I mean, for the most part, that's pretty much the movie in a nutshell. I mean,
well, hold on, Joe. Explain the ending, because I didn't get it. I definitely did not get that.
Okay, so with the Agent Smith coming at Neo the whole time, he's trying to turn Neo into an Agent Smith, kind of take care of him that way. Now, here's the part I really don't. So the Agent Smith is disconnected from the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't that have made him basically like under the control of the Matrix, like almost a slave to the Matrix? So why does he care? Why doesn't he just go do his own thing? He talks about being free, but he's still serving the Matrix. That part kind of like, I'm really curious about, why do you care now? Or is he trying to take over the Matrix?
It did. I have no idea. But he really wasn't working with those other two agents either. He was kind of doing his own thing.
No, he was turning them into himself. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, he wants to take over the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you know what? That's exactly what he wants to do, because what happens at the end of the third one tells me that. Because I'm remembering. Anyhow, so the end of the movie, the Sentinels, who are like the whole thing is based around the Sentinels. They're these ugly squid-looking robots, and they're attacking Zion, and they get through. And Neo feels them. He feels connected to them somehow. And just like he's like stopping bullets and flying through the air, he just holds his hand out and drops all the Sentinels. But it takes a lot out of him. So he ends up passing out, basically going into a coma. And they said that was the section that they had attacked, a bunch of people had died, and one person made it out. And I don't know this guy's name. I know that earlier he was coming after Neo with a knife.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you. That's what I wanted to know. What was up with that guy? Because Neo turned around because he heard somebody call his name, and that guy had the knife. But I don't think anybody saw the knife in his hand.
No, nobody saw the knife. But then they were like, "Dude, we got to go." And they basically saved him, because he was looking to take out Neo. But he's going to play a big part in the next one coming up, when he does actually wake up, because he survived. So somehow, I'm assuming he's working with the robots, or the agents, just like Cypher was in the first one. Because he's gonna do some crazy stuff in the next movie. And like I said, he already was trying to kill them. So, but what is that you don't understand? Like, I don't know how he got the connection all of a sudden to the Sentinels. The only thing I could think of is something similar to what happened with all his interaction with the Agent Smiths coming after him. Maybe it somehow connected him more to the program.
It just seemed like they were trying to be too creative with this movie to me. And by being too creative, it really went over my head. Like, I don't remember. I definitely did not see this in the theater. Right. I saw this. I think I saw this movie in 2004. This one and the other one. I watched both of them back to back when I was working midnight somewhere. And I don't know what the reaction was to these movies. This I know everybody liked the first movie, but part 2 and part 3, I don't know what the reaction was. I don't know if it was over too many people's heads, if everyone got it or not. Do you guys know what the general public's reaction were to these movies, or at least this movie?
I'm not 100% sure. I think they got good reactions, but there was, just like everything else, there's always some haters.
Well, let me ask you
And
this,
same
Joe.
thing where people felt it was over their head.
Was it because of the action and the fighting scene? Because remember, at this point in time, the way that they made this movie was new. All of the CGI and everything, this was new. Like, looking at it now, the CGI looks a little.
Bro, I thought I was watching a video game.
Huh?
I thought I was watching a video game. I swear to God.
So you're not a fan of the CGI then, huh? For a movie.
Why not?
No, I'm asking Angel. Well, he looked like he's having some internet.
I was gonna say, it looks like he froze. So as far as like the perception of these movies, they all got high Rotten Tomato scores. The first one got like 88, the second one got a 73, and then the third one got 63, and the last one I know got like trashed. The fourth.
But I see it's going down. Like, the scores are going down.
Yeah.
So they definitely don't like these as much as the first movie.
I think the first one just really like hit us in the mouth. It was just so different, so out there, so crazy, and then you wanted to see more. And I think they gave us enough with the second and the third one. I just think it's hard once you do something. It's hard to go. You got to go another step further and another step further.
Mm-hmm.
And although they did wrap it up pretty nice with we'll talk about it in the next two with a nice little bow at the end. People always want to recreate what they seen in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of they give us more story, more action, but they don't give us anything new.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the idea of it. So yeah, I mean, these movies they push the limits, especially from the first one. But
well, I mean, because we're pretty much 20 years later. I don't think. Well, yeah, we are 20 years later. I don't think. To me, like, the CGI is not as good as the movies now. So now when I look at it as being someone who really didn't get into these movies back in the day, like, I look at it like, okay, well, I don't think the CGI is as good as it could be. But like at the time, this was new. This was new type of movie making, especially for action movies and martial arts movies.
And the way they shot it,
yeah,
and the way they, the stuff, some of the stuff they added, and then
I can see people. So I can see people being wowed by that.
Yeah.
But if take all of that out of these movies, do you think people would have enjoyed these movies as much as just based upon the story and how it was written? Would these movies have been as well received as they were? And I think in my opinion, I think they go over a little bit too high over people's heads.
I think they would have created more of a cult following than a big following just from everybody. I think you would have had your sci-fi people and your Star Wars type kind of people being good with it, but not really everybody else. Without that, they need that action to pull the rest of us in.
Yeah. I can't help but look at Angel, man, because he's frozen and he looks like he just woke up. Like, what's going on? What happened here? If you guys get a chance, go to the YouTube video and take a look at Angel.
Oh Lord!
You guys see me?
For that one.
Yeah, we can see you, but you're frozen, man. Like you are.
You're frozen on the screen.
Yeah,
it's not a good look.
Yeah. Like, you just woke up from a nap, man, and it's like, what was going on? What day is it? How long was I sleeping?
Wait, so you can hear me talk, but you just can't see my live picture?
We can't see a live picture, not at all, bro.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I'm gonna say this then, so that way people don't know what I'm actually looking like. No, it's crazy because as I watched it, I did not like the martial arts in this movie. I actually hated it.
Oh, really?
Really, I
Yeah, I
enjoyed it.
did not like it.
Yeah, I didn't.
Too much wire work. Did not like it.
Oh well, that's the
Anything that
idea
was
because
hand to hand.
Go ahead,
anything that
Angel.
was hand-to-hand combat was. I think we lost him permanently now. But I think that the idea of this movie is because it is the Matrix. You know that you can do all these death-defying things. So there has to be the wire work because that's kind of what that started the whole idea in the first place.
I didn't mind the martial arts. That was one of the more enjoyable things to me for this movie. Like I enjoyed the
It
martial arts
was
more
just
than the
too
story.
much.
Say it again, Angel.
It was just too much wire. It was just too much wires. Like I liked it. I like the Wing Chun and Kung Fu aspects to it. I think it was really good when it was hand to hand on the floor. But some of it was just too much. Like when Neo fought like all the Mr. Smiths, like 1,000 of them at once. Like that was just too much for me. Like that, you lost me on that.
Okay, but the camera angles and some of the stuff that was going on, like when they did the bird's eye view and he was like running around on the stick. Oh man, come on, that was
Dude,
crazy.
the man looked like Ryu when he does his spinning sidekick
Yes,
in a circle. It
it's
was
just fun.
insane.
I mean, no one person's gonna be able to take out 1,000 people anyway.
You're
Like the
back to
most,
normal too, Angel. You're back.
Okay,
hooray!
good. So now I can't be stupid. Gotcha.
Hey, I don't know about you guys. I don't remember doing a lot of this at the Plowden, but at my Tung Sudo school, we used to do multiple attack fighting. So like like self defense. Like one person grab one arm, one person grab another arm. Someone has a knife in front of you, and someone's choking you from behind. Just to
No,
Nice.
kind of
Damn. What y'all doing over
well,
there?
yeah, I didn't do
just
that.
nothing that you would necessarily be in. Just getting used to having attacking, more than one person coming at you, so you can have that situation. Now, obviously, 1,000 people, like I mean, 2, 3, 400 people is gonna kill me no matter what. But it just kind of took me back to some of that because it was fun to try out different things and have an idea of like what would you do in a situation where you had 4 people trying to attack you and one's grabbing you over here and how do you assess like where's the most danger? Who do you attack first? That's what we were trying to learn. Like you have to assess, okay, obviously in that situation the knife is the most danger. I have to take the guy out with the knife. I have to literally take that person out in front of me because they have a knife. Everybody else has no weapon, and I don't want them to get the weapon, so I gotta take him out, break his arm. I gotta get the knife. So what do? Well, I got a person on the arm. I throw him in front of me. Just it's interesting to think about that. Now, of course, 1,000 special agents who got special powers is another thing, but just thought it was interesting.
I think that would have been fun if we did do something like that. That would have been fun to throw Travis around like that.
Oh, hey, I had this one guy who was like kind of like a daredevil type. So when we did the 2 arms and he had like a person in front of him, he would do a backflip and kick the person in front of him, and then twist out of the arm bars and pull them together at the same. That guy was nuts.
That sounds sweet.
It was fun.
That does sound like something that would be in a movie, though.
Yeah.
What you just described.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, he had to be able to trust the people holding him. Otherwise, you go to do like a backflip like that, you're gonna fall flat on your back or right on your face.
The closest thing we came to doing something like that might have been stuff for like a skit for demonstrations, And I was always one of the bad guys, so I never got a chance to do any of that stuff. So yeah, Trav probably got to do it. Pete probably got a chance to do it. Ski definitely probably got a chance to do it, but I didn't get a chance to do anything like that.
And you were always like thug number 1.
Yeah, something like that. Yep. Something like that. Yep. Stand there while Travis drops down to the splits and hit me in the nuts and that type of stuff.
You got Johnny caged.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, all the time, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy there was some sword work. Morpheus was walking around with a
Hmm.
sword. He thought he was like a ninja or something. And he did some good sword work, fighting the agents and all that stuff. Um, Naomi, she was pretty good. Jada Pickett's
Well,
good. This was
you know, I watched the movie and I was watching her and I was thinking she had to been only in this movie for just for her name recognition because this movie came out in 2003 and at that time like she really wasn't doing much of anything. And the role in any woman could have played this part. Like she did not bring anything extra or anything exciting or anything new. It's not. So I was kind of. It's kind of weird that she was even in this movie to me because she's not a
yeah.
martial artist and she just had a regular role.
Well, she had a regular role, but she did play a bit of a good part because
But what I'm saying
she.
is anybody could have did that.
No,
Like
true.
like what Halle Berry did in John Wick. You know, she brought something to that role, that character. I don't think Jada Pinkett could have pulled that role off like the way that Halle Berry did in John Wick.
But
This just seemed like
this,
a regular. It seemed like they could have just got any woman to play this character.
but Jada Pinkett went on to do a lot more after this because she played a lot of lead roles in a bunch of different things,
She
including
did. I don't. I thought
yeah,
most of her stuff was in the '90s. Like I don't remember her doing too much of anything after this.
she did she had 4 seasons on the Batman prequel. She was Fish something.
Oh, you're talking about Gotham, the TV show. But yeah, but once again, Gotham came out in
Yeah, Gotham.
2000. Yeah, Gotham came out like 10 years after this. That was like 2013 or 14. Like that's a long time after this.
And I mean, she showed up as a supporting role in a lot of other stuff that I can't think of at this time. But hey, don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of hers right now. So
Well, she just got her show just got canceled, so it's all
well,
good.
that show was annoying anyway. But I heard that's the meta uh, cutting costs or something like that, and they're looking to do something different. So
Yeah.
because they cut a lot of stuff.
Well, I'm quite sure they'll probably just end up having it on one of these other streaming platforms because it was a popular show. So I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to be going forever. Like it might show up on YouTube
But
or
why does she need a backing like that? She got more than enough money and stuff. Why don't she just create her own company?
you know, a lot of people always use other people's money. You know, that's how
True.
you get rich, use other people's money. You know, so
If I could use other people's money, I'd like to make my life easier.
all right. You all right over there, Angel? You good?
No, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
What is one of your? Do you have a favorite fight scene in this one, Angel?
I actually really liked it when he fought. What's the guy's name? Sepra, the Oracle's like bodyguard, kind of.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good fight. Yeah,
That one was actually kind of cool, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. And it in a way, I kind of like it was almost fought on like a tight space, kind of. And then just the way they just like incorporated the hand to hand combat with the wire work. I thought that was like a perfect amount. Like that was cool. It's when it's like
I wanted that
overdone
fight to
too
be
much.
longer. I wanted that fight.
I'm
To
gonna
be
be
longer.
honest with you. I wanted that fight to be longer, but the fight with Mr. Smith's, 1,000 of them, was way too long for me. It lost
I
me.
agree with you. I agree with you on that.
I like that fight too, Angel. I like that. I like that fight.
I like the Mr. Smith's fight scene when he hit them with the, I don't even know what you call it, like the signpost, but like made it into a bow.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. To me that was cool, but one thing I also did like was one of the first fight scenes, like right in the beginning when Neo's fighting with just one hand. That to me was cool. That kind of
Okay.
showed like his like maturity and like his evolution of like he has accepted his role. So that to me was kind of cool.
He always almost through all these movies like he's playing his role, but I don't think he ever fully accepts it till the end because he still kind of questions it even when the Oracle does tell him, "Yeah, you are the one." And originally she told him he wasn't. She's like, "Oh, well, I just told you what you needed to hear."
Right.
Watching this, do you guys get like a sense of like John Wick was kind of based off this or no?
A little bit. I think so.
I do.
I think some of that
I think
character, there's definitely similarities between Neo and John Wick.
I think Keanu Reeves, I think they almost kind of like, I think this is kind of just his style of acting, like it's like made for him. Like he pretty much created the style and then it's like made for him. You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like he just does better with this.
That guy Sephora, he reminded me of Jet Li. I had to look it up to see was he Jet Li.
Dude, I thought that was Jet Li also.
Yeah.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, I had to look it up to see. I was like, man, I didn't hear about Jet Li being in this movie, but let me just double check because he just kind of reminded me of Jet Li.
Yeah, I did the same thing the first time I ever saw this movie, and then I was like, oh, wait a second. That's not
okay. No. All right.
So,
cool.
what do you think? I think I gave the last one like a B+. I still like this movie a lot. I still like the series. I think I'm just gonna go with a flat B. The first one's just my favorite movie. I really enjoy it. I still like this one a lot, but there are some confusing parts. Maybe some little stuff that's over the top for me. So I'll give it a solid B.
Angel, what do you think?
I'm trying to think. What did I give the last one?
Oh, bro, it took everything for me to remember what I gave it. So
yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. I would go with B. If I went anything higher than that on the first one, B for this one. Like I said, just the wire work and then just some of, not that the storyline was bad. It's a good storyline. I just get lost all over the place.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, I guess I'm gonna be the odd man out this time. I'm giving it a C-, man. Like
God damn, what did it do to you? Jesus,
I just couldn't follow it, man. I just couldn't follow it. And
well, if you couldn't follow it, they made 2 movies in the same year. What you think is gonna happen on the third one?
I'm not looking forward to the third. I'm not looking like I was pretty cool after I saw the first one because, like I said, the very, very first time I saw the first movie, I was lost. I was confused. I had to see it 2 times, and I still didn't understand it up until recently when I saw it. So I think last week I gave that one a B, and I did not enjoy this one as much as I enjoyed the first movie. I think the story was better in the first movie. Now the fight scenes in this was better than the first one. But the story was just too confusing for me, man. It was just too much.
I'm trying to think of the third one because it's been a while since I've seen it, and I'm sure I'll, when we get into it. I think it's pretty straightforward. I think they do throw a few things out there for a loop, and I do remember the ending very well and what happened with it and why it had to happen. And some of it kind of makes me mad, but for the most part, I think it'll be a little easier to follow if I remember correctly.
Okay, and I'm kind of surprised that I'm real interested to see what this fourth one is about. I'm real interested to see what that one's about. I'm
gonna tell you about the fourth one. Okay, my opinion is different from others, but I also.
So you already saw it.
Yeah, I seen it. I had to. I watched. First off, it was on HBO, so that worked in my favor, and it was during the pandemic, so I'm like, I was watching all kinds of stuff. Okay, and I had to see what it was all about. A lot of people didn't like it. I didn't mind it, but I think it was unnecessary.
I heard a lot of people hate. Yeah, I heard a lot of people said it sucked.
Yeah, a lot of people hated it, but they waited too long, and the way the third one ended. And the fourth one just ends up being a stretch. That's why people couldn't get into it. But if you just take it for the movie itself, it wasn't terrible in my opinion. It was just okay. It is what it is.
Huh. Okay, let me ask you this, Joe. Based upon, I kind of know how the next one ends, so that's why I'm kind of confused how they did a fourth movie.
You'll see the way they do it. It's like I said, this was a money grab. Okay, that's why I call it unnecessary. The storyline for it was just made up and pulled out of thin air. It was unnecessary in that sense. This whole thing was just a money grab. It was like, you know what? The first 3 movies are great. Let's do this. Put it out there. We'll just make up some BS on how they got where they're at and take it from there. There's so much more they could have done with it. But
what will make more sense? This movie having a part 4, or them having a part 5 for John Wick? Because there's a way they can do a John Wick part 5.
Oh,
Part 5
John
for
Wick has that could easily be better.
Okay,
because you can make a prequel. You can make a prequel.
No.
You don't
I'm not
need a
talking
prequel.
about. I'm talking about continuing the story from.
No. They
where
can
they left
continue the
off.
story. There's 2 ways they can continue the story
Yeah. Okay.
for John Wick, and both would be fine. Now, one would be better than the other, but there's 2 ways they could still do it, and it'd be okay.
Okay. So both of you guys gave this a B-. Am I correct for this movie?
A B. A B.
B. Both B's, and I gave it a C-. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. So we're gonna see how this next one. What's the next one called? Revolution. The Matrix Revolution.
Resurrection. I thought it was. Oh no. That's number 4. I think it's
4 is this.
Is it
Revolution is the 3rd one.
Revolution. Okay. I'll be honest. I couldn't tell which one was which when they both came out in 2003.
I had to look it up too. I didn't know which one we were
had to look it up.
supposed to watch.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we're gonna stop it on time for the director. We're at 55 minutes. That's good enough. We did it. You guys got any closing remarks or anything?
Oh man, I'm good.
Angel, you excited about to go watch your Lakers?
Listen, man.
Get ready to celebrate. I already told you. Vince McMahon wrote the NBA season this year. Get ready to celebrate.
I'm gonna say that at work tomorrow.
I'm putting it out there now. It's Lakers versus Celtics, and Lakers win in for LeBron's historic year, and we get to celebrate his greatness all summer.
You can celebrate it.
Oh, I'm not a LeBron fan anymore, so we can talk about that another time.
Anymore? Oh, now I really need to know.
No, I just real quick, like when LeBron first came out, like I'm a Pistons fan, so I absolutely hated Michael Jordan. I've never rooted for Michael Jordan ever in my life, and I wanted LeBron to be better than him, but I can't say that anymore. Just by how he went about getting all of his championships. So
true.
That's my opinion. So
Yes,
call it what you want. You call me a hater if you want to, Angel. Everybody stay safe, stay strong. We'll
I'm gonna say that
next week. What'd you say? What'd you say?
Say that debate for another day.
And I'm going to play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.